It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings, KFC, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a burger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business trainer, author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner, and the forthcoming book, Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Today, I want to talk to you about projecting your sales. Doing a sales projection may feel a little like counting your chickens before they're hatched. However, a sales projection really is a basis for all of your variable expenses, your daily prep list, your weekly employee schedule, and that's just to name a few of the things that a projection helps you to figure out. Sales projections are just taking a known pattern, extending that pattern into the future. Fairly simple. For example, if you open on Saturday enough times, you will know what the average sales are on a Saturday. If those sales are not achieved, then you got to figure out what the heck happened. What influences your guests to eat somewhere else? Because you got to remember, your guests have to eat somewhere. So if they didn't eat with you, where did they eat? If you can pinpoint a reason, then you can adjust for the next week or the next month or even the next year if necessary. If you can't pinpoint a reason, you may need to look internally. Your quality, your service, your cleanliness, or your community may be lacking in one or more of those areas. Just don't throw your hands up and say, I don't know. There is a reason. Tracking sales and tracking expenses is an important part of any business. Tracking sales allows for pattern recognition. Seeing patterns is a good thing, especially if those patterns can be duplicated or they can be prevented. Duplication is important for an amazing sales day where you go home exhausted, but you love what your bank account says. Prevention, on the other hand, is equally as important so you can improve those bad days. All of this is great if you've been open a year. The sales patterns will reveal themselves, and with that many data points, you can see lots of different patterns. But I know you're thinking, well, I haven't even started yet. I'm the new kid. What should I be doing? How do I project sales? Okay, so this goes back to something that I always talk about. You have to know your exact, down to the penny, break-even point. Yes, we're talking about math again. Yes, it's a puzzle piece that is rarely discussed because many people, as food truck owners, are not serious enough to do the work. Remember, the break-even point must include a salary for yourself so you feel like owning that food truck is worth it. There's too many owners that make zero profit because they're unwilling to do the math and unwilling to do the work to generate people coming into the business. When your business hits the break-even point in sales, 3 things happen. Number 1, all the bills are paid. That makes you feel good. Number 2, you get paid. That makes you even feel better. And in number 3, business profit starts with the very next dollar coming in for that particular day. I teach everyone to take the break-even point and translate that into the number of guests it takes to hit that break-even point. Whatever that number may be, that's the number of people that we have to market to. We market to human beings that consume food. So that's the entire population of the planet. Whether they like our food or not is a whole different story. But everybody's got to eat something from somebody. And we have to know what number it takes for us to break even. And again, break even is paying yourself as well as paying all your bills. Now, if that is the smallest number we must hit in sales, that becomes the absolute smallest number we project going forward. It's pointless for you to open if you cannot bring in enough people to break even. So you're going to take what all your costs are and break them down into a daily number. You pay for your cell phone $45 a month. You're going to divide that by the number of days you're open. So each day has to pay a couple of dollars towards that cell phone. Each day has to pay a couple of dollars towards your insurance payment. Has to pay tens or hundreds of dollars towards your food to buy for the next day. Every sales day must have a projection. The projection is based at minimum on your break-even point. That also becomes the smallest amount you're going to prep to. That becomes the smallest amount of money you're going to spend on food. Let's say that our break-even is $800 a day, and we're going to have a check average of $15. That yields 54 guests a day. How much should we prep? Because I know you're thinking, how much should I prep for $800? It's a whole bunch of money. What should I do? If you follow my advice of having a small menu, you're only going to have a few products to prep. If you follow my advice of prepping 10% more than your break-even point, you can handle 5 more people coming in before you start to run out of food. If you follow my advice on setting short hours of operation, you'll likely not have to post on social media and say, oh, I'm sorry, I sold out. Selling out is a negative post. People get tired of seeing that you sell out all the time because you're saying, hey, I'm unreliable for your eating needs. That's all selling out says. You feel good about it because you made the money you wanted to make, but you've disappointed a whole bunch of people. And they may not even realize they were going to be disappointed by you until they saw your post on social media that says, hey dudes, I sold out. Now you have taken something away from them. And please do not fall for all the people that say selling out's awesome. It creates scarcity and it tells people to come early and get the food. What happens if they come early tomorrow? You sell out faster. You might feel good about it, but again, you disappoint a whole bunch of people. Your reputation for disappointment will precede you and people will stop coming to eat your food. You don't have a growing business. You have a slowly dying business. You just don't realize it. Every time you put, I sold out, you might as well go ahead and get one more nail to put in the coffin of your business because you cannot sustain that for any length of time. And if you like proof of that, go look at any chain of any size. You can look at the smallest regional chain there is, and they do not have a business model that allows them to sell out and adjust their hours of operation so they can disappoint a certain number of people. Doesn't happen. So don't get hooked into that. Yeah, selling out's awesome. Selling out is a slow road to business failure. Now, as far as projection goes, once you have a history, and it only takes 7 days, you can start to make reasonable projections based on that little tiny bit of history for day-to-day sales. Once you've got a month under your belt, you can start to make weekly projections, and you'll have a little bit of accuracy. Once you wrap around a whole year, you can improve your accuracy on your projections, and you can feel good about those numbers because they're based on history rather than just a guess. The point is you want to start conservative. Start with your break-even point. Prep about 10% more than what you think you're going to do. So on my 800 example, we would prep enough food to handle about 880 in sales, about 60-ish people. So it's a little tiny bit of potential leftover because if I don't hit my 54, I've got a marketing problem. I've got a location problem. I've got to fix whatever those problems are that cause people not to come because now I'm behind the 8 ball on hitting my break even. There's no point in prepping for a $2,000 day if you can't bring in enough people to buy $2,000 worth of food. It all comes down to marketing, your marketing reach, how many people can you get in. But the starting point, if you have not sold one bit of food and tomorrow is your opening day, you got to know your break even and prep to that break even because that becomes the hand at your back pushing you to get those sales in. If you open at 11 and by 12 o'clock you don't have a certain number of people in, that makes it look like you have a chance of hitting whatever your daily guest count is. You're on social media. Hey guys, I'm here. Come on down. Let's get you down, get you fed. You've got to be that proactive. You've got to make sure you're bringing the people in. And then if by some strange quirk you prep for 54 people and they all come the first hour, you have learned. You apologize to folks. You just go ahead and say on your social media, we're closed for the day. You don't say, hey, we sold out. Because again, saying, hey, we sold out means I don't know how to order food. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to prep. But if you say we're closed, people know that you're not there available for food and they don't feel like that you have taken something away from them. Because, hey, we sold out. And then tomorrow, since you got the 54 in today that you needed or whatever your goal was, you prep a little bit more so that hopefully you can extend and get into the second hour or the third hour and you build it up that way. Once you've gone a full week or even a couple of weeks, you'll start to know exactly how much food you need on average. And again, prep just a little bit more so you can get those little upticks in sales. That's all it takes. Just a little bit of planning. But the planning starts based on real numbers, and that real number is knowing your break-even point. So I'm going to make a bold statement. If you don't know your break-even point, don't bother going out until you know that break-even point. Because all you're going to do is end up frustrating yourself because at the end of the month, because you didn't know what you needed, you're probably not going to have enough to pay all the bills. And then you'll be living from day to day on your sales. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you find all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We got a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from just starting newbies to decades-old veterans. They all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business.